Burger King.
The economic downturn has forced budget cuts by Governor Tim Kaine, and more are coming. Revenue estimates for the upcoming two-year budget cycle are down nearly $3 billion. Possible budget cuts for education will be among the topics tonight at a meeting of lawmakers and educators. The Rockingham County and Harrisonburg school boards will meet with area state legislators to hear reports from the lawmakers on possible education issues that may arise in the General Assembly session that begins next month. And joining us now to talk about the issues he will discuss tonight with the Rockingham County and Harrisonburg school boards is State Senator Mark Obenshain. Senator, thanks for joining us.
Bob, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Now, the issue of shortfalls, from what you've been hearing and from what we've been hearing, it sounds like they're not over, more on the way.
Well, anybody who watches the news at night, is watching you regularly, understands that the economy has not turned around on a dime. As a matter of fact, over the course of the past year, our revenues are actually down compared to the previous year. And often when we talk about budget shortfalls, we talk about a gap between what we would like to spend and what we are taking in. Very seldom do we actually take in less one year than we took in the year before, but that's what we're doing right now, and it is creating a serious problem. Last month, our revenue was down 8% compared to October of last year, and that's pretty indicative. Year to date, we're down about 7.6% compared to last year, which creates significant problems.
Not only for the next two-year cycle, but you've got a budget that you're currently in now, which runs until the end of next June, which may have to have more cuts, right?
That's exactly right. Looks like we're going to be facing about a $1 billion shortfall in this fiscal year, which started on July 1 of 2009 and ends on July 1 of 2010. That is, unless the economy turns around. We will have no cuts if we start growing our revenue at about 3% a month. But given the fact, as I just mentioned, we're down about 7%, that's highly unlikely to occur.
Now, we've been hearing about cuts for the past several years, but so far, K-12 education has been pretty much spared, right?
As it should be. As a matter of fact, I mean, what we have to do, one of the great challenges is identifying our priorities in our spending decisions. And education, law enforcement, those are priorities in about anybody's book, and as a consequence, we've gone to great lengths to make sure that aid to public education has not been dramatically impacted by some of our revenue shortfalls.
But you're going to be telling educators tonight that it doesn't look like they can escape further cuts at this point?
Well, it's certainly our hope that they're going to be spared further cuts. However, realistically, I think there's going to be pain that's going to be felt in just about every area of government operations, and I think that K through 12 education school boards across the state need to plan for the worst, hope for the best. And what we'd like to do is spend some time talking to school board officials, school board members, and school administrators about strategies that we can adopt to actually allow them to get more bang for the buck out of the education dollars that they receive. Last year, for example, they said, give us a one-year reprieve from adjustments in the standards of learning. We did that, and that allowed their education dollars to go farther. They also asked for some discretion about whether they had to spend their textbook money on buying new textbooks every year. And we said, you can spend that money however you see fit, whatever works best. And sometimes we can make the dollar go farther by giving local school boards a little bit more discretion as to how they spend that money.
All right. Well, it looks like, of course, we'll be following this issue as the General Assembly session starts up in January and seeing how things develop.
Absolutely.
State Senator Mark Obenshain, thanks so much for joining us.
Bob, thanks for having me.
And now let's send